essentially what's happening is I'm driving and I feel like I could cook an egg on my shift boot. So there's just a lot of heat coming through the tunnel here, and especially on the driver's side, not so much on the passenger side, more on the driver's side. Now, it's very common for Miatas to have slop in the gearbox, and this car only has 50,000 miles. So I'm just going to show you. In first gear, clutch is released. There's really not much play more than normal. I mean, that's really tight to me. So I don't think it needs the full shifter rebuild kit, which is about, I think it's like $70 on Flying Miata. And then the boot and the insulation, the big boot is $30 on Flying Miata. And the insulation pads are another $30 right there. So you're gonna $200. And again, look, I mean, I don't feel any slop when I'm driving, nice and tight, 50,000 miles. I really think that it's just either the large boot is cracked or maybe just the insulation is toast on this car. It is over 20 years old. So let's just get in and let's see what the hell the problem is. So there are lots of videos on how to remove this center console. I'm not going to show you guys. Alright, so just as I suspected, the insulation, this is exactly what it looks like as I pulled it up. Makes sense. More heat on the driver's side. There's absolutely no insulation on the driver's side. There's a little bit of more insulation on the passenger side, so that's why there's less heat over there. And then if you look here, this upper boot, this large boot, is completely ripped. So my hopes are not very high that the inner boot, in spite of having little to no play in the shifter itself, these boots are just, you know, again, over 20 years old. What was I expecting? All right, guys, back again a couple days later. So what I did is I went ahead and ordered some pieces to just replace the boot, and then I ordered some more insulation here. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like right now because these boots are torn. I showed you already. So let's go see the parts. So full transparency, these are from Amazon. Obviously the pad I wasn't too concerned about because it's just an insulation pad, but that's the part number right there. Round shift boot. I'm going to throw that in there at the end. These are kind of, I'm on the fence. I'm sorry guys, my camera work is not going to be good this video. A little low on time. This boot up here, this is the upper boot. And let's show you. This is the lower boot because both of them are ripped. Now, I looked at the photos of this on Amazon. Both of these costed $30 prime shipped to my door. I looked at the photo of the part number off of Rock Auto because they also sell the pair. And to me, the two pictures looked identical. So honestly, this is a very cheap, all of this together probably costed me about $40. And I'm just going to be replacing the boots. So I just tore my large shift boot up. Obviously, you could pull it out, but since it was already torn, I just ripped it up. And this is just part to part. You know, just take that for what you will. This is new, and this is the original one. I think this is going to solve my problem with it not being cracked. And again, this one is just all torn up too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 off, and then I'm just going to pull this thing straight up. Then we're going to take it over there to the bench, and I'll show you from there. But I just tore that boot straight up because it was already torn and I wasn't going to reuse it. All right, I've got these 3 off. Let's just pull this thing straight up. Well, I had to pull a little hard there. I hope you saw that. That surprised me, truthfully. But I got it. Nice. All right. Let's cover this up so nothing gets in there. And let's take this over here and fix it. All right, guys. So I have the top boot off, the large boot, and I'm making an executive decision here to reuse this clip, this plastic clip from the original, and install it back onto the replacement because this one is just thinner. So guys, this is my point on my shifter rebuild. This is intact. Some people change this for bronze or something. I could change this now. You know, this washer is intact. And again, the shifter feel is fine. It's more so the boots. Look at this. This boot is completely torn up. So I just want to shine a light on something that not a lot of people are talking about on the internet. I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to grease this up with some white lithium grease and probably put it back. And I'll let you know how it goes. All right, guys. So I've been working on that shift, the gear shift lever, I guess you could say. I don't even know what the technical term for that is, the gear shift. So I've had this little piece of cloth in the turret the whole time. You want to open it up and look and see. I don't really see anything nasty in there or anything like that. So I think I'm fine. There's no like plastic fragments or anything. And what I went ahead and did is I just got a little bit of brake cleaner on another rag and I cleaned off all this right here, you know. It's a little grease, but just cleaned around the surface of that. Okay, so these are the old rubbers. This lower boot was an absolute nightmare for me to take off. I don't have any nice cutters, so I was literally taking chunks of the plastic surround off to get that hole off. You know, this is actually kind of a hard form factor. So that was kind of hard for me to get off. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some grease and grease up the shaft of the shifter and get this over so this will sit right here. And again, I'm reusing this plastic washer here and this other yeah, all of these washers I'm reusing, and then the actual shift, I don't even know what this thing is called, but people replace them with bronze. And then I'm going to put some of that white grease all over the turret, or the lever and all this right here. So let's see if I can get this down there. And my hands are already filthy, so let's get it done. Wow, getting it on was really easy comparatively. I just put a little bit of lithium grease on there. I'm going to put some more right here, all over here, and then I'm going to put it back in the turret. Well, guys, I think I did it. That's the lower boot, and I mean, I had to kind of move it down, per se, to bolt the bolts in, and they're kind of hand tight right now. I'm going to snug them up here a little bit, not too much, but I mean, that's the lower boot, and yeah, I think that's a job well done right there. And the shifter itself kind of plopped right back into place. I didn't have to really push it hard at all. And as far as I can tell, it's okay. We're in neutral, obviously, so I think we're good. Upper boot now. Again, sorry for the camera angle. Just pushing it down there. I think I'll hold that. That's nice and tight, guys. And I think we're good. I think we're real good right there. Let's get these hand tight. Now, since this is actually in contact with the shift boot, the leather or vinyl shift boot or whatever shift boot you have, I'm going to actually clean that. I don't want that to be all greasy. So I'm tightening these up and telling you guys how happy I am that I decided to do the boots. Unfortunately, what I didn't show on video was packing the insulation that I already had, as well as that new shifter pad, because I was very worried about the height. I didn't really think that the new pad, because it sits right where the gear shift is, essentially, I didn't know if the plastic center console was going to go in properly with the shift boot. And I did get it to work, but I didn't unfortunately show that I packed it in with the extra piece of insulation that I bought. right, guys, so honestly, I've been driving around. It's really hot outside in Bakersfield, California today. It's probably like 102 or 103. I want to say, the car is at operating temperature right now. I have mitigated the problem. There's not an excessive heat seepage here. I don't feel anything out of the ordinary. All right, guys, so to conclude the video, I successfully installed the 2 new boots, the Amazon boots, which costed about 30 bucks. I retained that OEM clip on the shifter boot, the upper one, as I thought it was better quality. And then I added that insulation. The car is on, and I'm going to show you that I think the biggest thing that changed the shifting characteristics was re-greasing the turret. Now, I used Permatex white lithium grease because this is a 6-speed and there's no turret oil or gear oil in the turret. My last NC had gear oil in the turret, and then the 5-speed NB transmissions do have gear oil in the turret. So essentially, I'm getting that feeling like the shifting is much more positive than it was prior, and I believe that's due to my liberal application of the white lithium grease. So if you see here, it's on first gear. There's no play in that at all. And that was me literally just replacing the boots, which would have nothing to do with this, right? And just re-greasing the turret. I'm very satisfied with the job, and I hope that this gives you confidence. If you have an older car and you like the way that the shifting feels, and you know that it's not sloppy like a lot of cars. And again, I mean, my car has only 51,000 miles, so all those plastic bushings and stuff were intact. If you have any questions, as usual, comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and happy motoring, everybody.